So we're gonna start off with our dad jokes. Remember, the rule is if you laugh, you get a point. I think last week you did. You did. I did.
Winning.
Yeah,
You're winning.
It's 1-0, but it's still we have a lot of work to do, a lot of practice. So, you want to go first or me?
I'll go first.
Okay, do it. What do you got?
What is red and bad for your teeth?
Tomatoes.
A brick.
Sure is. Yeah, that's not.
Would not feel good.
More of a maroon. If you want to do that, you know, it's good.
Yeah. I mean, and nowadays everyone wants to paint brick. That's the new real estate hotness.
What do you have when you got a snowball in your left hand and a snowball in your right hand?
2 snowballs.
Frosty's full, undivided attention. Welcome. Thanks for joining us here in December. And we both have our Christmassy type stuff.
Yeah.
Right? The reds.
Been wearing this for about 10 years. Still fits. That's actually a good sign.
It's true. Much fits me after 10 years. I'm past that. So this week we have finished off the year. And we had some good news in the news, which we'll go over here today. And the other thing we're going to do today is some bold predictions that we both are looking for in regards to 2024 to help kind of guide you and help you prepare. Because that's what we do. We educate, going over some of the things that we're seeing to help you get planned and ready for the next year. Yeah. So first and foremost, we are seeing that the rates took a natural dive a little bit, right? The Feds haven't really done anything. They've kind of taken a back seat, yet we've seen a little decrease. I've seen some high sixes at the moment. Is that kind of what we're putting out there too?
So the last really 60 days have been really good in the bond market. We've gone up 600 basis points in mortgage bonds, really since the low of about 96. Now we're about 102, and what that means is it's naturally climbing, which then pushes rates down because I think the bond market and investors who purchase mortgage bonds realize that what the Fed did, and they did overcook it a little bit, but it's finally working, right? Yeah. So some of these inflation numbers are coming in favorable. The last rate cut was in July. Now we're expecting them, last rate hike was in July. We're expecting them to cut rates in 2024. At least that's what some of these futures are saying. So if they do cut rates, it's a great sign. I think that the buzz around mortgage interest rates is starting to affect our business, where there's a little bit more activity. Yep. So things are happening. I sent the Steve Carell office gift to somebody the other day. It was like, it's happening, and it's not going to be steep. You know, it's going to be gradual, and day to day it still might be choppy, but the general trend should be a downward move in rates. So that small, and we know it's going to go down, and the small decrease over time is going to make it really tough for buyers to know when to hop in. You know what I mean? Like, oh, should I wait till it's 7s and 6s? But on my end, I know my listings are starting to see more showings, whereas the last week and a half, 2 weeks has been like crickets. And then all of a sudden this week I've had 3 showings in one of my listings. I've had a couple of my showings canceled because they already had multiple offers and cash offers. So it's starting to pick back up, and it's really a mental space for a lot of people, right? So if they were seeing it in the 8s and now it's creeping to the high 6s, mentally people are okay with it. So I think people are getting active, getting back out there, dipping their toes in it a little bit, but it's hard to know when to hop back in all the way. It's funny, the number, like the actual rate, sometimes isn't the big mover. Yeah. It's the trend. Yes. When rates are moving higher and moving higher, there's a mental aspect to that, and that things are getting bad. Yep. Now things are getting better, and so it gets people more active, more involved. Yep. And then also, we naturally every year sort of see these resolution buyers. I want to buy a house in 2024. It's my goal. It's my life goal to want to do this. Yep. Or to sell and buy. I know that I've outgrown this house. I know that I want more land. I know I want more space. Now's the time to do it in 2024. That's such a general thing because it's 12 months. Right, so what we try to do is figure out, is there an urgency to it? Because if so, we will give you the premier service in getting you in as soon as you need to be, right, and getting you prepared for it. So even if somebody says I want to buy in 2024, I like to ask, okay, do you have a date? Do you have a month? Do you have a time frame? Maybe it's when kids get out of school or what have you. So these consultations is not just, hey, these are what rates are doing, this is what you qualify for, but it's a give me an idea of what
the
your
plan?
goals are. Yeah. When do you want to be into this property?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for me, on that same idea, like I always sit down with folks and like, what kind of home are we looking at, right? Is school district important to you? Like where the house needs to be. So you do the numbers, not just like what the plans are, but I also add on top of that another layer of what types of houses. Because we see traditionally split foyers and those types of homes will be lower priced. Not always, but usually, and that kind of creep out first because people are getting out of that home into like a bigger one or a colonial or farther north or whatnot. So the type of house and where it needs to be located are also important for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really participate in those types of questions because that's on your end.
Yeah.
But sometimes the type of house dictates what sort of numbers I'm playing. Because I mean, the moment somebody says I want to live on the water, then I realize that it's going to be a higher price.
Or
point.
foreclosure.
Yeah.
Some people fall in love with the idea of a foreclosure, but we haven't been seeing deals in foreclosures, really, honestly.
Yeah, because why would you?
Not right.
Yeah.
Banks are
the
holding on.
demand is still there.
So yeah, banks are just holding on to those or keeping those prices high. So there really isn't like the deals or steals like there was before. But that also changes the strategy quite a bit. Now, really quickly, so people do. I've seen a few foreclosures, and I've showed a few this week. Really quickly, what do people need to be looking for? Let's say they're looking at a conventional FHA style loan. There's got to be things in the home that even qualify for that kind of house.
I mean, generally speaking, you just want a house that's livable. So if it's been vacant for quite a while,
it's tough.
And you know, there are real safety concerns that would need to be addressed, or you would need to enter into some sort of renovation loan. But as long as it's livable with no true safety concerns, the only thing to really pay attention to is sometimes if it's a foreclosure that's owned by one of the big entities, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, sometimes they are exempt from paying transfer taxes. So that's a higher cost on the buyer side in terms of closing costs. And it's just harder to get them to budge on things, harder for them to get seller concessions and things of that sort. So the negotiation piece might be a little bit more difficult, but in terms of the quality of the property, it's just you walk in and if you say, there's no real safety concern, it's perfectly fine.
Now, I know it's been a little while since I've done a foreclosure, to be honest with you. So USDA, I know you used to have like a refrigerator and a source of heat. Still truth?
So USDA is interesting. You have to have seasonally appropriate climate control, right? So in Maryland, we are at a 4-season state, so you have to have permanent heating and cooling, okay? You have to have a way to heat sustenance, so a range stove, whatever.
Stove, that was the one I missed.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but that's really it. Yeah.
So I know the criteria.
Anything that conveys with the property has to work. So just because USDA doesn't require to have a dishwasher, if in the contract a dishwasher conveys, it needs to work, right?
Yeah. Which probably won't happen.
I mean, even my dishwasher doesn't work.
Seems like the newer the dishwasher, the crappier it is. Anyway, we're tangenting here.
Yeah.
We know what to get him for Christmas now. So we're gonna move into this one. Bold prediction. So we're gonna make one bold prediction. What do you think 2024 looks like as far as buyers concerned?
So I think that by the end of this year, I think we're gonna see rates.
24.
I'm sorry.
Just want to make sure.
I'm already thinking that we're in 24.
No. We didn't even have our Christmas party yet. So I mean, that's usually the sign we haven't had our end of the year yet. So
2024.
24.
I think we see rates in the mid 5s. I think we see the 10-year note go to 3.5% or so, and I think we see a very competitive market, especially in the second half of 2024. And I would like to piggyback on that for 2025. I think things really become a very even, solid playing field in 2025 because rates will be good. The big the sort of that initial market of 24 when rates get better will push a lot of buyers into the market, and they will be seasoned in 25 if they haven't bought a house yet. I think that 25 is going to be a really good year for real estate and a level playing field, not necessarily a seller's market or buyer's market. I think it's going to be a good solid market with rates good, prices holding steady. So I think there's really good things. I think we're definitely past the tough times in the real estate market.
So I'm going to piggyback. I think our bold predictions are less bold because we're going to almost say the same exact thing. I foresee a lot of these homeowners currently that have been just sitting on their thumbs, not doing anything, with lots of equity, making moves next year. I have a handful of folks that I know have had like children or have expressed the idea of moving to a different school because they just like those or they grew up in that school area or whatnot.
Yeah.
And they're going to have money in their pocket. So the rates when they get in high fives, mid fives, they're going to have equity. They're going to try to find those young buyers that don't have any contingencies to purchase their home, so that way they can move on their next home a little bit faster as well.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a very strong chain of events. Young buyer moving into a home, they moving in with all that equity into a bigger home, and I think we're going to see some competition in that regard, but I think we're going to see a lot of buy-ups.
And I think that if there's a lot of pent-up demand,
yeah,
I think that moves all the way up to the age of someone who's looking to retire. They also have held put because they're also like, look, you know, we're probably going to take a small note on that next house, but we're not paying 8% to do that. So even those types of people have probably held put, waiting for things to calm down a little bit. So you might have even that type of market where someone who has lived in a house for 30 years that needs to retire or move to the Carolinas or Florida or whatever, they're finally going to do that. So it's going to add some needed inventory.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's going to be the chain of command. I think that's the way it's going to go. But the home values are going to stay strong. You're not going to see any decreases. I think next year, I think I've seen predictions everywhere between like 2 to 4% in regards to the increase. And then the same for 25. You mentioned 25. I've seen everything between 3 to 6 or 7% growth as well. So the affordability is not going to be. It is good. The affordability for that first-time buyer, you really need to get your ducks in a row. You need to prepare. You need to have a couple of bucks in your pocket. Maybe start saving. Start doing some things. I know in previous videos we've done, Tim has also recommended living that lifestyle as if that payment's being made, even if you're like still living in mom and dad's house or doing something, taking that out of your salary every month, putting it aside just to see what it looks like, and kind of gauging some of your habits. I mean, do I have all the Netflix, Hulu, and all that stuff, and I need to get rid of it, or do I go out to eat maybe 1 or 2 extra times and I can kind of cut back a little bit, or you know, can I buy the bag of Starbucks coffee instead of going to Starbucks? Just little things. We don't need you to change your whole life just to buy a house. That doesn't make any sense. But, you know, making a couple of tweaks to the things that, you know, you don't need, you're just doing for fun might help you. Do a practice run.
Get some reps making that mortgage payment and pay it to yourself. And then if you do it long enough, you will have a savings for down payment. It sounds simple, but if you can really stick to it, I think that you can get yourself really prepared. And then sometimes there's an intimidation factor of going from no housing expense, living at home, to a $2,500 or $3,000 a month mortgage payment. That fear is now gone because you've done it.
You've done it. You've got the reps in it, and you got a little sizable nest egg now set aside so in case something happens. Obviously, we want you to usually a smart amount of money down on your house, right? That doesn't necessarily always mean that you're going to use all of your money to do it, but then you know you'll just have a little bit of nest egg, a little buffer room.
Correct.
To do the things you want, still travel and do stuff. Like, we don't want you to be poor. We want you to have the house, be smart for yourself, and then still do the things, some of the things you want to do. That's all.
Absolutely.
So there's our bold predictions. There's some of the loan things. We're not seeing a lot of, really bold. I mean, I should probably change the world to like mild. Those are our mild predictions. Bold is like an attention getter, I guess.
Yeah, we're not looking for clicks.
So, and then the last thing is we have a Christmas party.
Saturday. Molly's.
We we have a local barbecue food truck, Mike's Barbecue, and he's legit. He's got.
This might surprise you, but I really like barbecue.
He worked at Adams back in the day.
I'm a veteran.
He's got ribs. He's got brisket, some homemade mac and cheese. I mean, it's good
all
stuff.
That sounds great. So yeah, we'll see Molly's time.
5 to 8.
5 to 8. Molly's on Saturday. Tomorrow. They have a new tap room open, so come see that.
Yeah, we'll see what they stick us. And we also have the kids table. All our events are family friendly. In fact, Keegan, my son, always likes to pick out what decorations are, and we'll have a little station over there, and he helps like with the kids and do the decorating and stuff. He just enjoys that kind of thing. It's a family affair with us. Like, we have our kids.
We don't want to be there.
We want to do the things, and we don't want to be without the kids. It's Christmas, so family friendly plus the beer. The beer minus kids. We can't have the kids drinking the beer. Sorry, I take that part back. We'll have water and that kind of stuff for the kids. Yeah.
The Sissons will be there in full force.
All of them.
We'll see you all.
So, once again, I appreciate it. We're looking forward to an amazing 2024. I'm very excited. I think 23 was a grind, and I got a little tired, to be honest with you. And I'm looking forward to 24 being a positive grind, not like a unholy grind of dirt and grime and awfulness.
I think the silver lining is we created some really good habits and systems out of 23 that's going to benefit us moving forward.
Back to work.
So absolutely. Yeah, we just kind of put our hard hat on and we go to work. That's what we do. So I think nothing will really change next year other than maybe the market being a little bit better. So
sir. I'm looking forward to doing more business and having fun next year.
Mm-hmm. See you in January.
Yep, see you in January. Have a good Christmas, holiday, whatever you celebrate, and have a very safe New Year's. And we'll see you again January 15th for our next video.
See you guys.